to have a full middle school experience because they're talented, because they want to pursue a certain field. And so the parent should make the decision, not any board member. And I want you to know that one of the reasons why K-8s, and in theory it seems like a good idea, but the problem is that the system funds a K-8 like an extended elementary. And because they don't have the funding, they cannot provide the students electives that they would like. And I even have had parents that have called me and say, listen, I don't want my first grader sharing the same bathroom with a 14 or 15-year-old. For those of us that have been users of the system and know what are the challenges of K-8 centers, of middle schools, and the funding, I say, let's have choices and let the parents decide. Thank you.
Lydia, I hardly agree with you. I believe that K-8 centers, they have their good moments. But the reality is that we need to be able to give the choice and the parents know what is the best school for their own children. And the reality is electives are extremely important. We need to be able to really create smaller high schools. That's what we need. We need to be able to create a more pre-K funding for our children, because that's really when the kids start really learning. We need to be able not to have just one class of pre-kindergarten and the lottery. We need to be able to open really all the opportunities for all the children that want to be able to become part of the school system and have the experience to learn at pre-K to start a learning experience. So I will certainly look for the opportunity to have more academies and more magnet programs in our area so we can have our children start dedicating themselves for when their aptitude tests show that they're good for. Because that's the way that they're going to maintain interest in school, and we will avoid at the high school level dropouts and all those sad things that happen in our society. So I believe that you, the parent, needs to be able to make the choice. And I will tell you, K-8 centers are getting shortchanged. They don't get the money that they need.
Walking to an K-8, for example, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's really crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. There's little kids, there's big ones, they're running everywhere. I believe that education has to be specialized. It has to, like I said, we have to cater to our children, for them to make them want to be part of our, to graduate. We really have to, hold on. When my experience through high school was very enriching because I was in ROTC, I was in chorus, I was the president of the fashion club, I was in the environmental club and I was the treasurer, I was the Rotary Club member, and I was in soccer, we did volleyball. I mean, that experience right there is what made me go to high school, what made me stay the whole thing. Being with friends, and I mean, sports are a really important part of anybody's life. Coordination and thinking skills, and that's what we forget in schools. I mean, math and science are very important. We do have to make engineers, but a lot of the people that grow up are not math and engineers. They're musicians, they're artists, they're singers, they are designers. So we have to cater to those children and to the needs that they're going to have in the future for us to specialize in their education. So we don't lose possible singers or possible architects to just math and science.
People talk about money. That's the nasty word here. But it's all politicians, they all progress and progress and progress. And now we got Dade County start charging us for the parking in the parks. Okay? So I love the special program for everybody, and it's very easy to blame Tallahassee. easy to promise stuff, and then what do? We increase taxes. Okay? What is your experience doing budget, managing money, offering real things with real money?
What is your experience in management?
Okay, here's the situation. For the past several years, I have gone to the school board meetings and I've asked them, very simple, show me the money. Okay? And for several years, there has been a lack of transparency. It's almost like a shell game. Here it is, oh, now it's not. And so the idea is that we need to go ahead and as school board members, we need to make sure that it is clear and cut where that money is going. So I have tons of ideas on how to cut money for, in the right areas. Tons. I don't think I need to go to Tallahassee yet. I think that once we use the money wisely that we have right now, and I can go to Tallahassee and I can say, look, we've done this, and we've done this. We have pinched every penny. Now we need more money. But I'm never, to this day, ever going to lie to you. I tell my students that the same thing. I say, I will never lie to you. And that means if you're wearing an ugly shirt, I'll let you know. And that was the same thing. For this, I will tell you, I will not go to Tallahassee until I make sure that the money that is given to us already is being used correctly. And unfortunately, I can prove to you that it is not. I just showed you that for the last 7 years that I've been teaching intensive reading, 3 times we've changed textbooks. Because every single time there was a new thing. But when you do the research, you find out that that textbook company is scratching somebody's back. And I'll tell you, what I'm going to do is I intend to clear the dust and to make way so that you know where your money is going to. Thank you.
For 7 years, I ran my own public relations firm, and I learned what it meant to pay rent every month and to pay it on time. I learned what it meant to be able to make payroll every month, and sometimes it was very challenging. And I also learned something that you mentioned, and that government does not do well. We've gotten a little better in the school system in the last few years, but we have a long way to go. People in business find the most efficient way of getting things done. If you look at how much it costs to build a school or to maintain a school, you see that there's a great disparity between what the private sector pays and what the public sector pays. So one of the things that I hope to bring to the table, if I have this honor, is to help the school system become even more efficient and make sure that more of our resources are used in the classroom where they belong. So yes, I think it's very important to have a business experience and to understand the importance of getting things done efficiently.